Welcome to our presentation on the 9 elements of digital citizenship. Today, Stephen, Dana, Patty, and myself will be going over these elements briefly via a PowerPoint presentation that we put together for you. Digital etiquette is no different than etiquette at dinner or at the movies. Here are a few things to keep in mind when using technology. Always make sure you reread a text, email, or post before pressing send. Never send an impulse message, especially when you may be upset. Respect the privacy of others. Make sure that you think carefully before sharing information that was sent to you. By doing this, you may also avoid future legal issues for yourself, which we will soon touch on. Being respectful of others is always a major part of digital etiquette. Never forget to treat others and their information as you would want to be treated. Using technology when it's contextually appropriate is also important to remember. Texting seems like an innocent thing to do, but not so much during the middle of a test or at a job interview. Modeling behavior for our students is also important. It's important that students understand that the grammar they use in a text with their friends is much different than the grammar they use in a formal text. That brings us to digital law. When dealing with intellectual property and copyright protection, we have to be careful when asking ourselves what is appropriate or legal for online file sharing. Napster ran into difficulties with copyright infringement a while ago, and now the issue of legal online video streaming is at the forefront. Now let's take a look at unintended uses of technology. Willing and unwilling participants are often prosecuted when it comes to the inappropriate photos of children under the age of 16. Even a juvenile sending images of him or herself can be prosecuted. Convictions for such crimes can have a long-lasting effect, such as having to register as a sex offender and permanently ruining a reputation. It's important to remember that we provide our teachers with resources and guidelines to help them understand the constant changes in digital law. Teachers often don't realize they may be infringing on copyright laws, and we must do what we can to support them. Oftentimes, our teachers may go beyond the fair usage guidelines, which allows teachers limited use of copyrighted materials for educational purposes. Streaming a movie for a classroom or showing a movie in the auditorium may seem innocent enough, but it technically can be considered copyright infringement. Now, Stephen will be going over digital communication and literacy.
Thanks, Miguel. Next, there are two more aspects of digital citizenship. There is digital communication and there is digital literacy. Digital communication. What are appropriate and responsible ways of communication? When we think of 21st century communication, text emojis and 140-character tweets come to my mind. But as a digital citizen, making decisions about proper communication is critical. First, what kind of digital communication and when is it important? Do I text a teacher about homework? Can I Facebook classmates about an assignment? Is it appropriate to share notes by taking a picture of it and then sending it? These questions raise concerning thoughts. Because of trending technology, teacher expectations, assignment project rules, and behaviors in classroom, the whole thing transforms. Because of trending technology, teachers must address ways of communication in specific detail. Ultimately, there's got to be a clear, defined boundary. There needs to be clear ways for communication in class. Classrooms must have appropriate communication at all times. Second, what form of source of digital information is important? Do I collect information from YouTube? Can I source a blog? What about blogs written from credible authors? What if there is no author? Is it appropriate to instantly fact-check or counter arguments by Googling answers? These questions are troubling because digital communication is how we read. It's how we retrieve information. While we retrieve good information from, Khan Academy, is the author, the research, the institution recognized? Do we pay tribute to the author's hard work? As teachers, we must recognize how we retrieve information. As teachers, we respect how we retrieve resources, text, and scholarly bits. In the end, all form of communication must be recognized. In the end, we add objective resources to our class discussion. Digital literacy. In order to be college ready or career ready, schools make decisions about curriculum across the country. How do we prepare students both in language literacy and digital literacy, which the world demands? As a digital citizen, students learn how to be digital. First, how do teachers instruct students in the digital literacy? While many of this generation's peers understand basic computer navigation, there are many more resources used by working professionals. As digital tools rise, teaching digital tools should rise. Instruction becomes up to date. Let's make an analogy. Do you remember taking your first typing class? Do you remember when the first mouse and digital QWERTY keyboard took flight? Did you take some getting used to? Probably yes. Now, instead of teaching students how to use a mouse, we teach them how to set up an iMovie. Ultimately, because of industrialized digital worlds, teaching and teachers must teach how to perform in industrialized digital worlds.
Thanks, Stephen. Now I will go over digital access and digital commerce. Digital access is defined as the full electronic participation in society. We are surrounded with students that are digital natives and have been accessing technology and the internet at a very young age. However, we need to not just assume that everybody and all the students have access to the internet and the technologies that are needed. So it is our responsibility to make sure students have equitable access. As stated in the article, the digital exclusion not only singles out students, but it makes it difficult for us to grow as a society, since not all of us are able to learn and develop our digital strategies. As educators, equitable access is something that we need to make sure that we pay attention to. If we assign homework to students online, we have to make sure that there are accommodations in place for the students that don't have digital access. We need to allow students time in class before or after school to access needed technology. Or we can provide other resources such as iPads or Chromebooks to be checked out to students. I found a website called Digital Access Project where they award affordable high-speed internet to those who qualify. Next, we'll talk about digital commerce. This is the buying and selling of goods and services on the internet, and they're easily accessed by their phones and the computers, so it's important that we teach our students and we train them how to navigate these ads and be aware of misleading and incorrect information. I posted a link to the liquid mountaineering phase. It went viral and everyone thought that it was in fact true, but it turned out to be a big hoax. But it just shows how authentic an ad can look, and it can be completely false. As educators, we need to make sure that we're teaching students how to think critically as they evaluate and navigate the websites and the internet, and make sure that the sources are in fact credible. We need to lead students to evaluate the motives of ads and how real and true the ad or claim is, and also teach them strategies to use as they navigate commerce and the internet. DigitalCompass.com is a great website that's full of resources and lessons that you can use with students, and it teaches all digital citizenship, and there is a spot for digital commerce and how to choose whether the site is authentic. So it's a great resource. Next, Patty will be going over the digital rights and responsibilities, health and wellness, and security. Thank you.
Digital rights and responsibilities are the privileges and freedom extended to all who use digital technology and the behavioral expectations that come with them. As 21st century digital citizens, all users of technology have the right to own, publish, and protect work, words, ideas, music, recordings, images, and opinions without threat of being plagiarized. We have the right to privacy. The right to privacy refers to the concept that one's personal information is protected from public scrutiny. And as 21st century digital citizens, we have the right to freedom of expression. Digital citizens also have certain responsibilities, such as using material ethically by citing sources and requesting permissions when using verbiage, images, or other material from the internet. Plagiarism happens when you use another person's words, ideas, or work without giving proper credit to the original owner. We also have the responsibility to obtain and use for-profit and copyrighted material ethically. Piracy is the unauthorized use of reproduction of another's work and can include music, software, books, recordings, television programs, movies, and more. As 21st century digital citizens, students have the responsibility to turn off smartphones and technology when taking tests. And finally, 21st century digital citizens have a responsibility to stop bullying and report bullies and threats to online authorities. And now I'll talk about digital health and wellness. There are both physical and psychological dangers lurking in the digital world. Extended use of technology can have serious negative repercussions on our physical health. One physical danger of extended screen time can include what Time magazine calls computer vision syndrome, and includes eye strain, blurred vision, and dry eyes. The Mayo Clinic advises blinking frequently and taking a 20-20-20 break by staring at something 20 feet away for 20 seconds every 20 minutes to give your eyes a break from your computer screen. Other physical dangers of extended technology use include repetitive motion injuries such as carpal tunnel syndrome, back problems, poor posture, and shoulder and neck strain. One study found that when we tilt our heads by 60 degrees to stare at our phones and tablets while scrolling, we are putting 60 pounds of pressure on our neck and spine. To avoid neck strain, make sure your computer work area is ergonomically correct to avoid long-lasting physical problems related to technology use. Sit in an adjustable chair with lumbar support. Keep your feet on the floor or footrest. Rest your forearms on desk or table when using a keyboard. Set keyboards and monitors at a comfortable height. And always remember to take regular breaks to stretch. In addition to physical dangers, there can be psychological problems associated with extended internet use as well. According to Addictions.com, taken to its extreme, internet addiction can cause anxiety, shortened attention span, insomnia, isolation, withdrawing from society, and damaged relationships. Digital security. According to LifeLock.com, our personal information is in endless places, and thieves are using it in endless ways. Between corporate cyber attacks and personal identity theft, there's a new victim of identity theft every 2 seconds. To protect yourself, Consumer Reports and About.com suggest the following tactics. A two-factor authorization, or 2FAs. When visiting a password-protected website, this means that in addition to entering your password, the website will also email or text you a one-time code to enter. This can protect your bank account from a would-be thief who has gotten hold of your password. He won't be able to access your accounts without this second method of verification. Use a password manager. Password managers are services that generate and store unique, strong passwords on your behalf. You only need to remember the one strong password to access your password manager. Your other passwords are randomly generated and entered on your behalf. Put a sticky note over your laptop webcam. Consumer Reports and the LA Times notes that in 2014, a young man was sentenced to 18 months in prison for hijacking the computer cameras of unsuspecting young women. Putting a sticker on your laptop webcam may seem a bit paranoid, but it is a valid threat, and you need to protect yourself. Keep your equipment updated. Computer software and operating systems more than 5 years old are not secure and may not receive necessary security updates. Purchase, install, enable, and update antivirus malware and firewall protection software. Avoid online scams such as phishing, phony lotteries, Nigerian 419 emails, and scareware. These scams are professional-looking fake websites or emails or other type of messages that try to get victims to send sensitive information such as banking and social security numbers and or money to the hacker. Scareware scams are alleged antivirus programs that claim your computer is infected and instructs the victim to purchase a full version of their software in order to clean the bogus infection.